Hola, estudiantes. We're going to talk about the present progressive tense. So in English, that's when we have is or are or am, and we have our verb that ends in ing. So for instance, I could say he is writing to talk about that picture. Or I could say something like, they are watching. So I have my is or are, and then I have a verb that ends in ing. So in Spanish, when we use this tense, we're going to have the verb estar. This is how it's conjugated once again. And then instead of having ing, our verb is either going to end in ando or yendo. First, I want to give an overview of how these tenses are different in English versus Spanish. So obviously, one difference is ending in ing versus ndo. So in English, we use this tense like a lot. So if I said something like, I am taking swim lessons, I might not be actually swimming right now, but you get the idea that I'm generally enrolled in swim lessons. Or if I said we are reading Romeo and Juliet, I might not be sitting here reading that book right now, but it's still something I'm currently doing. So Spanish is different though, because they don't use it nearly as much in Spanish as we do in English. So if I said those same sentences in Spanish, they'd mean different things. So if I said, I am practicing swimming, or if I'm taking swimming lessons, if I'm using this tense in Spanish, that implies I'm in the pool right this second, swimming. Or if I said, we are reading Romeo and Juliet in literature, that implies that I'm currently sitting in class, I'm currently reading that book right this second. So you have to be careful, because these might not always translate real well. I remember one time when I was in Spain, I said, I'm leaving, and using this tense, and I was standing in 10 feet from a door, and people thought I was weird because I was not leaving right that second. To them, leaving would have been standing in the doorway. Right in that second, I would have been leaving and been able to use that tense, but since I wasn't leaving right that second, I shouldn't have used that tense. So we're going to focus more on how to conjugate in this tense. So once again, we have the verb estar. Remember to put all those accent marks, which you should know by now. And then we'll have our present participle, which is like our ing type of word in English. So how you get that, you take off the agar, er, ir off of your verb, and then you add either ando or yendo, depending if it's an ar verb versus an er and ir verb. So this is the most important thing that you'd want in your notes right now. So if I were to do an example, we are running. Remember, to run is correr. So the we are part would be estamos, because that's the star in the we form. To run is correr, so I take off my er. For er, my ending was iendo, so that's how I say we are running, if we're running right this second. Let's say they are running. So do you think I'll need to change a star or the endo part? So the they are part is just the star change, so están agrees, and then I still do corriendo because the ing part doesn't change at all for the subject. Let's do an AR example. I am talking. I form of a star is estoy. To talk is hablar. Take off my AR, add ando. You are listening. If I'm doing to, that would be estás escuchando, since I took off my AR ending and added ando. Some of you might have heard of a song bailando. That means dancing, so that would be another example of this. I'm going to go through some of the irregular rules that we've learned throughout the year and how they apply here. So for stem changing, we're lucky. You don't need to stem change very often with present progressive ando, endo verbs. You only stem change ir verbs to the first letter. This is the exact same rule as the preterite tense. In a lot of tenses in Spanish, only ir verbs change to the first letter. So that means, lucky us, we do not have to stem change ar or er verbs. So I did the example of dormir. I only changed to the first letter, which is a u, so I had durmiendo. So if I'm looking down here at preferir, that's an e to ie verb, so I'd have pref. I changed my e to I. R, and my ending is endo. The rest of these, poder, pensar, and empezar, don't stem change at all. So I just have pod, endo. It's an ER verb, no stem change. And same for the rest of these, no stem changing. So sometimes we'll have a spelling change if there's 3 vowels in a row. So this is only going to happen with ER and IR verbs, because my new ending is endo, I-E-N-D-O. And if there's a vowel before that, that's just going to be too many vowels for Spanish. So if you ever change your ending, realize you have 3 vowels in a row, you're going to have to use the ending yendo, Y-E-N-D-O, instead of endo. So like when you can see when I tried to change layer, it would have been leyendo with this I-E-I-E, too many vowels, so I had to change my ending to yendo instead. So I were to do include, to include, I-N-C-L-U. I already took off my IR ending. My new ending has to be yendo, since there's a vowel right here before my new ending, which would trigger the 3 vowels in a row. So this doesn't happen too often. Another verb that we've learned already, traer, to bring, that's going to happen here, since we have an A before ending. Also for reflexive verbs, so this is a verb tense where we have 2 verbs. We have estar, and then we have our participle, the endo word. So since there's since we'll have 2 verbs in our sentence, you have to follow the rule about the 2 pronouns where you put it either before the first verb or at the end of the second verb. So if I'm trying to do they are brushing their teeth, ellos, they would be están cepillando los dientes. And then my reflexive pronoun would be se, since it's they. I can put that either here. I can either put it before my first verb or attached to a second verb. So I can have ellos se están cepillando los dientes, or están cepillándose los dientes. Pues hasta luego.